All of this data allows them to monitor exactly where we are at any given moment.
They are steadily increasing restrictions and technological bans, and we expect they'll continue to do more. We just need to keep pushing forward, focusing on how we can try to overcome these challenges and find solutions to get through them.
Myanmar's military junta is expanding digital surveillance through SIM tracking facial recognition to monitor and silence citizens. Despite the dangers, people continue to resist. Hello and welcome to Doh Athan, a weekly podcast from the Frontier family about human rights stories from Myanmar. This episode is produced by Doh Athan journalist Wathan.
ပြည်သူ့တော်ကိုယ်စားလှယ်များအစည်းအဝေးတက်ရောက်မှုအခြေအနေကိုအတည်ပြုမှတ်တမ်းတင်ရန်လွှတ်တော်ကသဘောတူပါသလားခင်ဗျာ
Although the military junta claims it is moving toward democracy, it is doing the opposite, depriving people of their basic rights and increasingly using technology as a tool of repression.
People are asking, how do we check our phone's IMEI? What should we do? Do we need to register it? And will our phones be disconnected if we don't?
Goh Yor of the Mingala Nyot Township General Strike Committee is actively opposing Myanmar's dictatorship. The strike committee's aim is to keep the revolutionary spirit alive, remind the world that people reject the junta, and to build underground networks. But the dangers to Goh Yor and his colleagues face are growing. Since the coup, the military has used manpower to monitor, arrest, and oppress opponents, but it is also increasing technological repression. Starting with shutdowns and data bans, the junta is building a great firewall with China's support, expanding facial recognition CCTV, and arresting VPN users. A 2025 cybersecurity law punishes VPN use with fines and a prison term, while a national database and smart cards that centralize citizens' data with fingerprints and iris scans now required for passports and SIMs.
All four providers of Myanmar's domestic telecoms are now under the control of the military. With the implementation of the Central Equipment Identity Register, or CEIR, and IMEI systems, they can now access specific data of every mobile device, identifying exactly which model is linked to each SIM card. They can also use the metadata from these SIMs to track who you contact, what kind of messages you send, your exact location, and even your movements from one place to another. All of this data allows them to monitor exactly where we are at any given moment.
Goh of the Myanmar Internet Project explains that SIM-based messaging is monitored for political content, and while networks like Facebook are technically harder to track, users still face risks from physical surveillance or insiders reporting their activity.
The main issue is a profound insecurity that's only intensified. Even ordinary people who aren't directly involved in politics now live with this constant anxiety. For instance, the military's use of technology to threaten arrests or extort money if they find a VPN creates a climate of fear that haunts everyone, not just those in the revolution. For those of us doing the work, the pressure is even more intense.
Monata is a journalist with over 8 years of experience. Recently, while traveling from Magwe to Mandalay, she passed through 30 checkpoints manned by both the military and the PDFs.
They checked phones thoroughly, examining them with a fine-tooth comb for an extended period. For young men, questioning can last from 30 minutes to an hour, covering a wide range of topics. The interrogations feels like they're looking for mistakes, any inconsistency or slip-up that could raise suspicion. Beyond questioning, they empty all the bags, searching every item, even checking into each piece of clothing, inspecting them individually. That's their process.
At junta checkpoints, soldiers force passengers off buses, singling out young men for searches. At some checkpoints, tablets are used, while at others, bus conductors take ID cards off passengers, checking them in the checkpoint office. Monethat said that once an ID number is entered, authorities can see if any legal cases have been opened in any township. She described this as the most mentally exhausting experience of her life, more stressful than being on the front lines under airstrikes or drones.
I've experienced things like this before. When I was on the front lines and there were airstrikes or drones circling overhead, but I didn't feel this mentally exhausted. If they bomb us, they bomb us. If I die, I die. It's as simple as that. But passing through these checkpoints is much more draining, because if you fall into their hands, you won't necessarily die right away. You wonder if you will be sent to an interrogation center to be tortured or raped. You know what I mean? Their presence is just so ominous. I just don't want to be caught by them.
These fears are not without foundation. According to the Yusof Ishak Institute, a Singapore-based think tank that monitors security trends in Southeast Asia, the junta used the PSMS surveillance system to arrest over 1,650 people between March and May 2025. And there have been deaths resulting from tech-based arrests, most notably the case of Pio Zeato, a member of parliament. He was apprehended via this system and later executed by the junta. While the military claims these systems are for taxation and crime prevention, tech experts say they are for monitoring and controlling the public. Wei Pyo-mien, an Asia-Pacific policy analyst at Access Now, measures technological freedom by 3 pillars: access to information, freedom of expression, and the right to privacy. When it comes to internet access, over 130 of the country's 330 townships currently have no internet connection. Even in cities where the internet is available, users still cannot browse freely, so they rely on VPNs. In 2025, Myanmar recorded 95 internet shutdowns, the highest number in the Asia-Pacific region. Freedom of expression is under attack, with people facing arrest for speaking out online or in public. Even liking or sharing a post on social media can lead to legal action. A data from Myanmar report says 1,990 people were arrested between February 2022 and October 2025 for supporting the revolution or opposing the military junta. Personal data privacy is also tightly restricted through various technologies. Wei Pyo-mien, an Asia-Pacific policy analyst at Access Now, described digital repression in Myanmar as one of the most severe anywhere in the world.
The
current situation in Myanmar is among the worst in the world, comparable even to the conditions seen in China and Iran. We typically describe this as digital authoritarianism, where technology is weaponized to enforce a dictatorship, and we are now seeing the military council implement these repressive measures from every possible angle.
Experts say other countries using the technology to protect citizens, but in Myanmar it serves to control them. Ko Thit Nyat says,
We are currently at the mercy of the state, where the institutions meant to oversee and enforce the law, such as the judiciary and the police, have lost their integrity. In this vacuum of the rule of law, these broken systems are being weaponized to impose digital restrictions and systemic oppression, leading to widespread violations of both digital and human rights. It's precisely because we are facing such a dangerous and precarious situation that we are grounding our presentation in these facts and expose the reality of what is happening to the public.
Much of this tech, the Great Firewall, deep packet inspection and CCTV systems, are supported primarily by China. Russia provides training, software and surveillance technology, while India has provided technological and consultancy aid for the EID system. The EID is a digital ID card which includes a tracking number the junta can use. Over the past 5 years, VPN has asked the EU, the US and regional neighbours to block these tech transfers, but to no effect. While the UN issues statements, the issue has yet to be discussed in the Security Council. She says digital authoritarianism is not unique to Myanmar and could spread to other countries. She says the international community must act consistently and decisively to stop it.
If you look at recent news posts, you will notice a surge of pro-military comments and voices condemning the revolution, which might lead an average person to mistakenly believe that public support for the military is growing. However, since any form of opposition can lead to legal action or arrest, ordinary people simply cannot afford to take the risk unless they are incredibly brave, leaving only supporters of the military who are able to post freely. While this may not seem like a major issue on the surface, it is extremely dangerous in long run, creating false narrative while effectively silencing the truth.
Tech experts advise the public not to be scared, as some social media reports about the military's tech controls are exaggerated. Doh Athan compares these controls to electricity, dangerous if misused but safe when handled correctly. He offers the following advice.
What we can do while we remain unprotected is focus on improving our digital literacy and our understanding of digital security. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by fear or anxiety, we must learn to identify which situations are dangerous when using digital platforms, how to avoid them, and when to exercise caution. In a landscape like social media, where digital security information, the good, the bad, the true, and the false, is completely entangled, it is essential that we develop the skills to differentiate between independent news media and trusted information sources that operate in the public interest.
Young revolutionaries like Doh Athan attend training sessions and workshops to protect themselves from technological surveillance. No matter the obstacles the military places in their way, they will continue the revolution, they say. Even as digital repression increases, they remain undeterred.
They are steadily increasing restrictions and technological bans, and we expect they'll continue to do more. We just need to keep pushing forward, focusing on how we can try to overcome these challenges and find solutions to get through them.
Thanks for listening to this edition of Doh Athan. We welcome your feedback on social media, and please follow or subscribe to our pages. You can listen to our podcast via the Doh Athan Facebook page. They can also be found on SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, Telegram and Instagram. Please tune in again next week.